Welcome back to the debate room here on Oregon Public Radio. As always, I am Raymond Clayton. For those of you just tuning in, I have with me today three members of the House of Representatives representing the state of Oregon. To be more specific, we have Gary Britton, a member of the Republican Party representing Oregon's 2nd District. Pleasure to be here. Aubin Sletton, a member of the Democratic Party representing Oregon's 1st District.
Again, glad to be here, as always.
And finally, we have Eric Maslow, a member of the Communist Party representing Oregon's 3rd District.
Thank you.
Now, our next question deals with the all too familiar topic of nuclear weapons and specifically when to use them. Right now, the world appears to be one giant powder keg. North and South Korea are engaging in border skirmishes. The Russian Federation is gearing up for a repeat of 2022, and instability reigns throughout the world from Venezuela to Iran. So, if the red light were to flash, and you've got reports of an incoming nuclear attack, what would you do? Would you order a counterstrike, knowing what that would entail? Representative Maslow, since you went last during the last question, you get the first crack at this. Remember, you have a maximum of 2 minutes to state your point.
Thank you, Mr. Clayton. And no, I wouldn't.
Of course you wouldn't. What else should we expect from someone who hates the very system that we operate on? You're probably in a North Korean's back pocket.
Representative Britton, I must ask for you to wait your turn. Representative Maslow, you may continue.
As I was saying, I wouldn't. Because I don't believe the Russians or the North Koreans will ever jump to using any nuclear weapons. And neither will we. The sheer act of using nukes in any conflict creates a risk of defeating the purpose of the conflict itself. There'd be nothing left to win or lose after a global thermonuclear war, which could very well happen the moment the first missile ends up in the air. So, no, I wouldn't return fire, because I don't think it would be real. It'd have to be a sensor malfunction or something.
You say all these things, but you're just an un-American fool carrying on an ideology that should have died in 1991.
Representative Britton, I must ask that you wait your turn.
You have the gall to call me un-American. I'm as patriotic as everyone else here. Besides, the whole damn reason I don't think anyone would want to do it is what happened in Durham.
For the sake of maintaining order, Representative Maslow, do you have anything else you wish to add?
No, I do not.
Okay. Well, now we'll go to Representative Britton on this one, who has clearly been chomping at the bit here. What exactly would you do if the red light started flashing? Again, you have a maximum of 2 minutes.
What else would you expect? I'd push the button.
You doom us all in the process, you foolish hawk!
Maslow, I don't need to remind you of the rules here, too. Representative Britton, you may continue.
I'd push the button, not because I'm some hawk like the communists aside from me, but because it would be the only option we would have left. Even with the Mercy anti-ballistic missile system online, many of our major cities would still likely get hit while others would be saved, and we can't just tolerate that. And if we lack the mental strength to open fire when our nation is threatened, the principles of mutually assured destruction would not be enforced, giving any nation a free hand against us. So, I'd press the button. Albeit regretfully.
May I be allowed to say something?
I'll give you 30 seconds to respond, but we need to move on to Representative Sletton's own opinion on the matter.
Mr. Britton, please explain yourself. The whole principle of MAD would be that the other side wouldn't want to open fire. Knowing that, you'd still respond?
Can I respond to this as well?
Go ahead. 15 seconds.
You're damn right I would, Mr. Maslow. Unlike you, I'm not a coward.
I'm not a coward. I'm just being sane.
Your idea of sane is...
That's enough. Representative Sletton, What do you have to say? You've been very quiet through all this, though I can't say I blame you.
What I would say is that I agree with Maslow in his position, but there is one vital difference that both he and Britain missed. I'd call whoever was supposedly firing at us.
You wouldn't have time to do that. I mean, if you had a submarine-launched ballistic missile on course for DC, you'd only have had 4 minutes to...
Representative Britton, I'm not going to ask you again. We will cut your mic if this continues. Same goes for you, Maslow. You may continue, Representative Sletten.
As I was saying, I'd like to call them first. Like Maslow, I do not believe that any of our adversaries would want to fire first or to be known as the Great Destroyer. The last thing I would want to do is become that myself by accidentally starting a nuclear war. We must do everything in our power to prevent a nuclear war. Even if our adversaries were to lie, our nation's second strike capability would mean that the attackers themselves would not go unscathed. We know that, our adversaries know that, and that's why I don't think they'd ever fire first, and that's why I won't fire first either. And if anyone has the gall to compare this to Leowin's decision to use thermobaric weapons, I'd remind them that the difference is night and day. She had to do it to stem the Ira Pandemic, and we don't have to use nukes now.
And I believe that brings us to the end of this topic. When we come back after the break here on the debate room, we're going to be discussing the Maywell-Colby Act, a gun control act drafted in response to the DEIA and Abilene massacres late last month. I'm Raymond Clayton, and we'll be back.